This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and today I have another Banggood product review for you. What you see in front of you is listed on the Banggood website simply as a 12-piece high-quality lockpick set. I was intrigued by it, so I asked them to send it my way, and I received it 3 or 4 days ago. Since then, I've been putting a couple of the picks, these two with the handles on them, through their paces, and I'll share my experiences with you in just a minute. However, first, I think it's important to talk about the price. Any piece of equipment has to be evaluated in the context of how much it costs. Now, if you follow the link in the description below, you'll find this kit on the Banggood website listed for $26.66. However, I've also included a discount code that will give you an extra 35% off if you order it before January 24th. That brings the price of this kit down to $17.33. So, if indeed this is a high quality lockpick set, it is a very, very well priced set. So, let's talk about what you get for that money. And the first thing is this acrylic lock. Now, I've talked about acrylic locks on my channel before, and I've said that I don't view them as practice locks. That's a mistake some people have in thinking about them. They're more training aids. They're really, really good when you're teaching someone how to pick locks, or for when you're first starting, if you want to see visually how the movement of your pick affects the pins, this is what you want to use. So this particular lock is also listed separately on the Banggood website, and I'll include a link in the description below where you'll find it listed for $6.55. The good folks at Banggood, of course, also included a discount code for another 20% off, so you can get it for $5.24 if you order it before January 24th. Now, I think price is really, really important here because the comparable product, or at least the most popular comparable product in the US, is a lock sold by Southward. And I happen to have one of their locks right here. I apologize that this one's pretty beat up. It made its way to me that way, not from Southward. I'm assuming they ship them without cracks. But I'm showing this particular lock because I just went on Southward's website and found this listed for $39.99. That means if you use the discount code, you can pick up 7 and have some change left over for the same price as this lock. So, is the lock worth it? Well, there's a couple of drawbacks that you need to take into consideration. And the first is there's a couple holes in the back of the lock. You can see them here and here. And they replicate the holes that you would normally find on the back of a rim cylinder. However, in this particular case, it directly blocks your view of the pins unless you view them at an angle. So, it's a bit of an annoyance, but certainly not one that can't be overcome. I did a little experiment to see if we could get around it by filling one of the sides in with crazy glue, and it looks like I got a couple of air bubbles in there, but it does help a little bit. So if you do get this lock, it might be a solution that's worth trying out. I had one other issue with this lock, and that was that this lock made its way to me pretty scratched up. And as you can see, this particular lock is not scratched up. And the way I did that was with a little bit of knowledge about the acrylic manufacturing process. If you do know about that, you know that these locks, in the very last step of manufacturing, is they hit it with a flame. And that flame melts away any scratches, any imperfections, and leaves it crystal clear. So that's what I did with this. I got out a lighter, and in about 5 or 10 seconds, all of these scratches were gone. So certainly not something that would keep me from ordering this lock. Again, you can either get it as part of this kit, or it's also sold separately on the Banggood website. In either case, the links are in the description below. Now let's talk about the Pics themselves. The profiles, well, you can see 10 of the 12 Pics are hooks, which means this is a set after my own heart. If you've watched my channel for long, you know I love to single pin pick, and you know that I have a lot of different hook profiles that I use depending on what the keyway is. So I love to see sets that are really heavy and lots of different shaped hooks. And most of these are actually really practical profiles, I think. There's a couple of oddballs over here. This is one that is long enough. You may even be able to use it as a warded pick. So this probably wouldn't be my favorite, but certainly all the ones on this side I'd find very, very useful. We also get a triple peak rake in here. It's the only rake in the set, and I have to say, if I was putting a set together with only one rake, that would be it. It's also known as a Bogota profile, and it's a very, very effective rake profile. Finally, we have 1/2 diamond. It's a little on the large side for my liking, but you certainly could sand it down or use it as is, but there won't be a lot of keyways that'll fit into. Finally, we have 3 tension wrenches over here. You'll probably want to supplement the tension wrench selection if you're buying this set, but overall, nothing wrong with these tension wrenches. I just don't think there's enough selection that you can have, I'll say, the perfect tension wrench for a variety of locks. Materials. On the website, it says that these have stainless steel bits and aluminum handles. And I think that might be incorrect. The handles certainly feel a lot heavier than aluminum, and they're very difficult to scratch, which makes me think probably the entire pick is made out of stainless steel, and a very durable stainless steel. Let me take out one of the picks that I actually used and experimented with, and after, I'll say, about 100 lock picks per pick, so 200 overall, neither of these picks show any deformation, and I should say they're also very, very solidly placed into the handles. We're not going to have any issues with these bits coming out, or at least I didn't thus far. Fit and finish. I'll say that these are actually pretty well put together right out of the box. If I had to describe the smoothness of these bits, I would put it somewhere in the range of a Southward product. It's better than what you would usually find on a Peterson pick, and probably not quite as good as Sparrows, which I view as probably the gold standard in their fit and finish of the picks themselves. So certainly very, very usable out of the box. Could probably use a little bit of sanding, and on the 2 picks that I used, I did spend, I don't know, 1 minute or so hitting them with some 500 grit, but overall, very, very nicely done. The handles, as far as the comfort goes, are pretty good. You can either use them as is without the plastic cover, and you'll have no problems with them at all. They're a little bit longer than what you would find for a Peterson or a Sparrows hook. Pretty close in length to the Southward Max collection. So certainly very, very usable, and depending on your preference, you can use them with or without the plastic handles. I will say that if you put the plastic handles on, you'll have a little bit of difficulty getting them to fit under the elastic straps, but they certainly will fit in there, just it'll take you a little bit more time. So, is there a downside to this? I'll say not a whole lot. These are really, really well put together picks. If I had to have one gripe about it, it's the fact that I can't buy these as singles, because I tend to find a couple of profiles that I really like and I'll buy several of them, so I'll always have a backup. So if I'm thinking about buying more than one of these, you can tell that I'm pretty enamored with it. I think they did a very nice job putting these together. I can't speak toward the long-term durability, but I can say putting about 100 picks on each of these tools, that they've thus far held up pretty well. And I tend to be a little bit abusive of my Pics because I tension locks so heavily. So if it can stand up to that, I'd assume it can stand up to pretty much anything that you guys can dish out. We do have a whole bunch of handles, so if you want to put them on, or I'm sorry, plastic covers for the handles. So if you want to put them on all the Pics, you have enough to do that. And as a final word about this plastic case, it's marked honest on the outside. I won't say it's great, but it's certainly not bad either. This is, I guess it's even double stitched in a couple places now that I'm looking at it. Overall, not bad, usable, but probably I would replace it if I was using these Pics. So overall, considering that this is something that you can get right now for $17.33 with the discount code, I would put this in the category of highly recommend, which is something I don't say lightly. I think they did a really, really nice job with these Pics. So if you're in the market for some Pics, or you just want a nice selection of hooks to add to your existing set, this might be something that you should consider. That's all I have for now. If you do have any questions or comments about this set, please put them in the description below. If you like this video and would like to see others like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.